every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Pitch, a daily women's football podcast brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network. I'm Raj, joined as always by Briony. Hey Briony, how are you doing today?
Good evening, everyone. I'm good, thank you. How are you, Raj?
I am very good, thank you. And very excited as we are joined by the incredible Emily High, CEO and founder of Aim High Football Coaching. Welcome to the pod, Emily. How you doing?
Hi guys, you all right? I'm doing good. Excited to be on the pod today.
Thank you. We're excited to have you.
Wicked.
So during today's episode, we're going to be discussing what inspired Emily to start Aim High, who her biggest inspirations are, the growth of the women's game, and some exciting upcoming projects that Emily has through Aim High. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'll let you start, Briony. Go for it.
Am I starting, am I? Okay. I think my first question for you would be, so, I mean, as a fellow woman in coaching and in the sector, I'm too very passionate about the growth of the game and actually bringing girls up young within the game, and as a lot of the research shows how that has the impact on long-term participation in the game and less dropout as by having them good experiences young. Is that kind of ideology somewhere around the lines with where you were going when you decided to set up this amazing little thing you've got going?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we kind of Aim High as a whole kind of works off. We kind of go at it in two ways. We obviously look at the girls' development technically, tactically, and like you say, like get the girls in as young as possible, get them kind of doing those basics really early on, and to build that confidence, because I think at the moment what is happening is a lot of girls, post the Euros and England winning the Euros and so on, have decided at the age of kind of 13, 14 or whatever, oh, actually I want to give football a go. And so they come in and they play football with, maybe a group of boys or with other girls, and they realise actually all these other people, mainly the boys, I guess, have been playing for years. And so that can kind of be a barrier to them wanting to carry that on. So I think it's really important to offer up things like Aim High, because we kind of welcome anyone of any ability. We've had girls come to camp that have never played before. Equally, we've had girls come to camp that are like playing at really high level at county in the JPL Warriors League, which is the girls' junior Premier League, the JPL Warriors. So we have a real vast mix, and we kind of find a home for all of those people. So for those that are coming that have never played before, like you say, it's really key that we actually instill those like foundational skills really, really early. But more importantly, like you mentioned, we want to create positive experiences around football. And actually there is a natural dropout kind of as you reach those teen years, 13, 14, 15. And I think a real kind of tool that we can use to combat that is actually, can we have this background and these like foundations of these massively positive experiences that the girls look back and it's not even a thought like, oh, do I want to carry on football? It's just I play football and I'm going to keep doing this for as long as possible. And I think actually when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's something like 0.5% of girls that play football will end up having football as their career, which is like hardly anything. So for me, obviously I'm 100% there for those 0.5% that then go on to play as a career, but you've got 99.5% of the rest of the girls that actually they just want a lifelong sport, and football can be that. And so we kind of want to create those memories and create those experiences that mean that the girls associate positive things with football and, friendships and, all the good things that come with playing any sport, but obviously, especially football, because that's my sport. But so definitely really important for us at Aim High to kind of go with that philosophy for sure.
That's incredible, and I have actually coached at Emily's camps, and I can absolutely say that absolutely feeds through. That's the atmosphere, and you can tell that that's your mission and that's your goal. And exactly like you said, in terms of the girls that decide at 12, 13 that they want to play, um, Aim High gives them the outlet to not have the pressure of having to join a team and
Yeah,
then have the pressure of matches when, like you said, they don't really necessarily know what they're doing tactically or have that skill set to go into a game and then make an impact. So coming to you as opposed to just joining a team straight away, learning that base skill where they missed out in the younger years, and then joining a team is just going to give them a little bit more confidence to then go and say, yeah, do you know what? I want to join a team and I want to do those matches as well because I feel like on Sundays or Saturdays I can then contribute to being a positive impact on that team.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
literally said to my girls tonight, like I've come before this, I had a session, and I literally said to the girls tonight, we were doing like a ball mastery thing, and I said, look, this is like your safe space, girls. Like this is away from club football. Like make as many mistakes as you like. Like I don't care. Like nobody here cares. Like this is your space. That if there's something you've always wanted to be able to do in football, if there's a certain skill, if there's a certain, even if it's just to be more vocal, like whatever it is, like this is your space. It doesn't matter. It's not. I'm not gonna. I'd like to think that at grassroots this doesn't happen, but I think it probably does across the girls and the boys. But I'm not going to say that person isn't starting on Saturday because they made all these mistakes in training. Like you can just make a ton of mistakes, and I'm just going to say well done for trying, rather than
exactly.
oh now I've got a question who starts on Saturday kind of thing. So yeah, I literally said that to the girls earlier tonight. So that's spot on. Yeah, definitely.
I was just going to jump in and say there, it is a shame actually that at grassroots level it's always performance over learning. It's always you've got to meet our criteria, hit our standards, and actually, I like the word safe space in there. I think that's really key, and I just wish that was cross transferred over a lot more into grassroots, into FA affiliation, and it was put more so on the syllabus of learning and coach education as well. It's creativity, I think, is limited in young players because they are constantly trying to meet these perceived expectations of them. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's something that happens, isn't it? And when these girls do get to the levels where they're kind of, playing for county, playing particularly kind of under 14, under 15, and especially going into under 16, those pressures are going to exist. Like there's no getting around that. There is going to be a time in any player's life when it does become actually like if you don't perform, you don't make the team. But that isn't right now. It isn't, at grassroots what you want to create in grassroots. Like I said, if that is it, that is 0.5% of girls that go through to, have a career in football, like playing football. If you're focusing on that 0.5% and making sure that everyone's prepped for getting into an academy and having to feel those pressures, all those other girls, you're going to lose them immediately. And then it just completely depletes the pool of female players. And that's not what we want to do. We want to grow the pool of players that we have. And then naturally, you'll end up with this massive pool of incredible players that do go on. And then it won't be, well, it probably will still be 0.5%, but that 0.5% will be hundreds of thousands more rather than, what it is now. So yeah, really, really important that we kind of, just encourage the girls to play, keep playing, keep making mistakes, like keep doing all those things.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I can't remember what the documentary was called now, but it was an academy. They followed a load of players in an academy, and one of the coaches said, actually, the players that do the best are the ones who they haven't got tons of people saying to them, like, it could be parents, it could be other coaches, it could be whoever, putting like piling all the pressure. They just want kids to come and like play with freedom and like have the bravery to do things. And and they do that at a young age. And then when it comes to when they're older and they have all the pressures, like they've got the confidence and the positive experience to kind of get them through that pressure. Whereas if that pressure starts when they're like under 8, under 9, it's no wonder there's a dropout kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it makes absolute sense. And just following on from that, then, and all obviously the incredible positive work you're doing, what or who actually inspired you to create Aim High then and start it?
Oh, so many things, so many people. I think so. For me, I have a really close friend. She's my best friend actually, and she invited me to do an event. It's a guy called Tony Robbins. He is an American, really extravagant American guy that does these kind of big like life coaching events and whatever. And we kind of signed up for it for a bit of a joke, really. Like we'd heard you kind of do loads of jumping about and cheering and singing and, you know, really over the top. And the whole event kind of looks at like your limiting beliefs and what's stopping you achieving the things you want to achieve and so on. And so anyway, we did this event, and during this event, there was this one bit where you kind of do this meditation where you think of what you want your life to look like and what you want to do with your life. And it's like this 45-minute meditation. It's the longest I've ever sat still. I can't believe I even got through it, to be fair. But all I was thinking about was I just had this thing in my head that I was like, girls' football camps, we need more of them. We need more of them. And so when I was 22, I went to America and did Camp America and worked. I was lifeguarding and football coaching at a sleepaway camp in America. So I was there for 2 months, and loved it. It was just amazing. Like the kids are just there for 7 weeks all summer. They play loads of football. They do loads of sports. It was just incredible. And I kind of came away from that thinking, God, why is there nothing like that in England? Like, this is amazing. Like, I've had the best summer of my life, and I've just got to leave it on another continent. Like, that doesn't sit right with me, kind of thing. And so, yeah, those two things. And obviously I grew up playing football. I played for a really good club when I was younger that actually, we went and did loads of things around football, and we went to, watch Chelsea women's play, and we went to watch England play. And like back then there's like maybe 1,000 people in the crowd, but like for me that was enough. I was like, this is amazing. Like, oh my God, like look how many people there are here. And there's like nothing compared to what there is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was lucky. I had a really good club when I was younger, and there was probably like 5 other teams in our league, and I didn't really know any other girls that played football. So I was kind of really lucky in that sense. And I guess if I hadn't had that, would I have continued to be as bothered about football growing up? Like, probably not. But I just, like I said, just had such positive experiences around it. So it was a no-brainer. Like, I've carried on playing. I still play today, a lot slower than I did before, but I still do it because I love it. And yeah, I just wanted to create something that had a purpose. And I feel so strongly about sport, and specifically football, and what that did for me in my life. And yeah, I think that I'd just be wicked if I can kind of leave a bit of that behind when I retire, hopefully when I'm 45.
So basically all of this was a result of a 45-minute meditation session.
Basically, yeah.
That is amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins, I've seen his stuff and it is wild.
I don't even know that much about the guy other than this 4-day event where I was just screaming and jumping around in my friend's living room for 4 days. Like, but I loved it. So yeah.
That's interesting. That's really cool, to be fair.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Love that. So obviously that's you had all your passion around it through obviously playing and various other. It's great to hear that actually you had great experience of playing when you were younger as well, because not everyone does. So that's incredible as well, and that obviously helped you continue playing and then with your coaching journey as well. So that's great. In terms of when you kind of first started out, were there any kind of specific challenges that you faced early on when kind of trying to get the camps off ground that you can kind of specifically remember?
Yeah, I mean, so originally I coached and under what was at the time an under 13s team, I think, or under 14s, and I coached them since they were under 11s. So the very first camp I actually did, I did it just for that team. So there was like 14 girls at camp, and it was just my little team that we coached. And I did that, and I was just like so nervous and so like, I've got to get everything perfect. Like, I need to make sure we do this and that. And just before the camp, we managed to get a load of sponsors for that team, and so they all got new kits. They arrived on the first day of camp and got their kit and whatever. But I think so. I did that, and I thought that was great. And then I didn't do anything again for like a year. And I was really just like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And I was just like, nobody else would come. Like, so I guess my first kind of barrier was my own self-belief in that. I was like, no one's going to come if I put this big event on and whatever. And one of the parents of the girls that I coached, he kind of said to me, he was like, if you do another camp, we'll come. Like, it's really good. Just do it. Just do it. And like, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Oh, like, yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. And kind of that year, I was, thinking it through, and decided to take the leap and was like, right, I'm going to open this out. This isn't just going to be something that I do for my team. We'll do it for everyone. And so I guess the biggest barrier that I then faced when I kind of got over that initial kind of limiting belief within myself, was actually just getting the word out and making people aware that it even existed. And when I did, and I still, even to an extent, find this now, is that you kind of message people or speak to people or whatever it is, and because they don't really know you yet, it's kind of like it takes a really long time to kind of build up that base of like avid fans really for what you're trying to do. So yeah, it took me a while, and that I remember that I really specifically remember this one Saturday I had a phone call, and this was when I still had I just had my personal phone. I didn't have like a work phone or anything. I saw this number come up and I thought, who's that? Who's ringing me? It's an unknown number, whatever. So I picked it up and was like, hello, like as if to say like, who are you? Like, why are you calling me? And they were like, oh, hi, it's so-and-so's mum. I've just seen an advert for your camp. And like, I was like, oh,
Wow.
hello. Yeah. And they were like, oh, is this Emily? And I was like, yeah, this is me. Like, got on the proper like phone voice and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she said, oh, I've heard this, like, my daughter's team, their managers put this thing in the group chat, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to hear about it. So I spoke to her for kind of 10 minutes. And then later on that day, I had on my phone our website's through like Wix, the website thing. And so it notifies you every time someone makes a booking, and all afternoon it's like
Nice.
diddle. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, every time one came up, I was like, anyone that was around me, I was like, look. And it was just that real like breakthrough moment. And so obviously we did the camp, that first camp with just my team, and then it didn't do anything for a year. And then that very first camp that we did, we had like 50 girls turn up, and I was just like, and yeah, so, but that initial kind of just getting the word out there. But I guess all I would say to anyone that's trying to kind of set up something similar is like, just be a pest, like just message people, talk to people, like message them again, like, say everything that you believe in as an organization, as a club, whatever it is. Chat to them, not just about trying to sell whatever it is that you're offering, but chat to them and show that you care. And actually now there's girls that have come to that first camp, and I still chat to their parents, like not about anything. They'll just message me and say, oh, so-and-so did really well at the weekend, you would have been proud. Like they'll send me clips of their games or whatever, or like they'll message me and say, oh, what boots shall I get? I don't know anything about Astro boots or grass boots or whatever. And so yeah, for me it's kind of building that community, and I'm not just, or I want people to know that I'm not just there to offer a camp for a week in the holidays. I'm not just there to offer an evening session once a week. Like actually, if you've got like a really simple question about football, because girls football is still growing, like a lot of parents that are coming into it don't know those things, like what boots should I wear? I don't know anything about boots. What's the difference between these boots and that boot? What's the difference between this? Like, oh, whatever it is. So yeah, I kind of deviated completely away from the question that you asked me, but kind of exposure for the company and just getting my head around the idea that it was something that I could do were kind of my main barriers, I guess.
And that's really nice. Sorry, go on, Raj.
No, go for it.
I was gonna move on to another question, but I was gonna say that's really nice to listen to, actually. And you talk about your mindset and your belief in yourself and what you're capable of going on to do and achieve with Aim High, which you've clearly been very successful in. But what is your main belief? What do you try to instill, and what mindset do you try to portray and pass on to the girls that you coach?
Yeah, so we kind of, a lot of Aim High is that for me, sport growing up kind of shaped who I was as an adult. And they kind of say, don't they, uncoachable players are unemployable adults. And so I want the girls to kind of, obviously in a fun, safe way, whatever, to be able to be coached and to train that kind of mindset of actually what I put into this is what I'm going to get out. And a lot of the girls, they don't want to play for England, they don't want to play for these big academies, and that's absolutely fine. But when I say to them, look, like, you don't have to want to play for Arsenal, but like you're a good person, you're a strong person, you can go and still make a difference and not play for an academy. Like, you can go and play for a Sunday league team as a 30-year-old woman and make a massive impact to the people around you, or go out in your daily life and, like, in your work, like, are you someone that works really hard when things get tough? Because look, we all know, like, life is tough, it can be tough, and actually football is a really good place to develop those, like, perseverance skills. And like, when you're 2-0 down on a Sunday afternoon and it's pouring with rain and all you want to do is go home, can you, like, dig deep and find something within yourself to actually go and score a goal or close down that next player? And it all links up. If you can persevere in that, what's to stop you persevering in any other venture that you have in your life? And so I often say, look, in football, as it is in life, we want to learn how to do this, we want to learn to work hard, we want to be a person that can keep going, and just, like, see light when things are a bit rubbish. Like, if you've just lost, like, are you the kind of person that comes away from a loss and spends the rest of the week feeling naff? And, like, look, I sometimes do, like, it's fine, but can we turn that around and be, okay, these are the mistakes we made, or these are the things we could have done better, and to then next week go and develop that again and fix those problems? Because look, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to do things wrong. The only important thing is what you do next. And, like, if you lose the ball in a game, what matters? What happens next? It doesn't matter if you've lost the ball, you're going to lose the ball. Can you get it back? If you're, doing a project at work or whatever, at school, whatever it is, if you get it wrong, it's fine. Just go fix it. So yeah, that's kind of part of kind of our philosophy in coaching. It's obviously about football, but it's also about the person that we're creating at the end of the journey when they're 18, or not even the end of the journey, further down the journey.
I love that so much. I mean, I've recently, as part of my master's, had to put together a presentation about who I am as a coach, and that was a title of mine, was like being holistic and the person behind the player. I think it's so easy to lose sight of the fact that this is a person here, and actually what we do off the pitch and the life skills, the mindset, the cohesiveness away from the pitch is so influential to what happens the minute they do step out there. And you can, to some extent, only prepare them as far as that white line, and then you've got to watch it all happen. And I think we forget about those cross transferable skills, as you talk about, and creating them mindsets that actually they can take on further. And I really resonate with your view on that.
Yeah, really important, definitely.
Yeah, honestly, it's insane. Like you said, they're coming to football camps, but they're not just learning football. And like you said, some of them don't want to they don't have dreams to go on and play for Arsenal in England, but the confidence that you're giving them, to the transferable skills that you're teaching them to go into their everyday lives, job interviews, or just having a conversation with someone a bit more senior to them. Like, for example, when you shake hands at the end of a game, like common courtesy, things like that. Just all those little things. What you just said there just reminded me that, because I've been doing those small little things since the age of like 7 when I started playing, like, it's just natural, and you take it into your life throughout. Like, it just never stops, like you just said. And I can remember the first training of camp of yours that I came into, one girl specifically, and she just wouldn't look me in the eye, wouldn't have a conversation with me, like, was really comfortable with you, and it was clear that you've got that relationship, built that rapport, and she had, like, such a good little skill set, and I just, like, kept being like, go on, girl, like, that was brilliant, that was fantastic, but she'd just, like, run off and wouldn't have a conversation with me. And then the next and she does all of your camps as well. And then I missed a couple. I think I missed Easter, and then I came back in summer. And the next time I saw her, wow, the confidence in that girl. Honestly, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I was literally like,
there's a couple that I'm thinking of, but yeah.
Whoa. I was like, who are you? I was like, that's it. She's like, Coach Raj, look at this skill I learned. Look, I bet I can do it on you. Stand there. I bet I can pull you up. I was like, whoa. And then I went into like competition where I was like, I bet you can't. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're doing exactly that, and I literally witnessed it. So yeah, no, that's incredible.
Oh, I love that.
Please.
I had so a team that I coached before. I finished coaching this team. A few of the girls went on to like higher division clubs, and a few of the girls moved on to other clubs and so on. And one of the parents messaged me a couple of weeks later, and they said, "Oh, their daughter so and so said to me the other day. She said, oh, Emily really cared about us, didn't she?" And and then mum was like, "Yeah, I think so." And this mum was talking about it, and I said, "Oh, why she said that then?" She said, "Oh, Emily always at the beginning of training, Emily always used to ask us how we were. She would always say, oh, how is everyone? Has anyone got any news? Has anyone got any gossip?" And I'm sure their new coach is amazing, but it just I felt really proud about that. I was like, oh, cool. I'm glad that that's how they remember me, as a coach that really cared about them. It was really nice.
And that is literally a massive compliment to you.
Yeah, loved it.
In terms of that,
100%.
I literally bet that was, you were like, wow, that's all I needed to hear, and I'm so glad I set these camps up, because that is the reason that I set them up for. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just say something on that as well? Like, and it's really lovely to hear that, because I currently coach 18 to 22-year-old university age girls, and that doesn't change. I've had the same feedback where it's like, the difference between you, Briony, and the male coaches we have, you like actually care about us, and it never changes. It doesn't matter if you're 4 or you're 40. You just want to feel like my coaches care more than just about what I'm doing with my football. Like, they still are the same.
Yeah, it's really important. I've had players now that have played for me, or that I've coached in the past, and like I said before, like their parents will phone me about their daughter who's having a confidence crisis, or who's thinking about moving clubs, or just they've got this thing going on at school, and sometimes it's nothing about football, but they come to me as like just a person who they know actually cares about their daughter, and is going to give them a really impartial, useful bit of feedback. And so I don't always know the answer, do you know what I mean? But it's just another person to talk to, and that's kind of, I don't just want customers. I want like an Aim High family, and I want raving fans, and I want people that see me and see Aim High as more than just a bit of coaching that they pay for once a week or whatever it is.
100%, like a community like that. That was beautiful. Wow.
From the heart.
That was straight from the heart.
Raj is actually dying inside, because she sees me at camp every week, like messing around and like putting the water guns out at camp, and now it's like getting down to the nitty gritty.
I'm like, who's this? This pod has gone so quickly. We both had so many more questions for you, but I need to wrap it up with one last kind of question. So tell us a bit more about some exciting projects that you're working on, upcoming projects. If parents are listening, what exciting things have Aim High got coming up that their children can get involved in?
Yeah, so we obviously have all of our holiday camps that run pretty much every school holiday. We're based down in Basingstoke, so there are day camps 9 till 3 most days of the holidays. We do evening sessions on a Monday and a Tuesday. So our Monday group is for our older girls, which is under 12 to under 15s. And then the Tuesday group is our under 9s to under 11s. I guess our biggest thing that we've got coming up is in this summer, coming up, 2025, we have a residential coming up.
Residential.
So, yeah. Raj's going to be there. I'll obviously be there. I'm honestly, I could talk for half an hour about the residential. I am buzzing for it. So it's the 28th of July. Don't quote me on that date. I'm pretty sure 28th of July to the 1st of August. So it's four nights, 5 days, and it's down in Brighton. And essentially, it'll similar to the day camps. We'll just play loads of football in the day. We'll do loads of activities. On the Wednesday, we'll go out and do some kind of football-related trip. In the evening, we'll have loads of activities. We'll have guest performances, guest coaches, loads of stuff going on. And that is kind of born from the whole, when I went to Camp America, and that you get tons out of the day camp. Like, you're there all day, it's great, like it's amazing, but there is nothing quite the same as like being away from your parents for a week, like going to camp, like bunking in with loads of other girls, and like all that incredible stuff that happens when you've just got that freedom to go on this trip, play a sport that you love, like be around tons of like-minded people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just so excited for it. And yeah, anyone that will listen to me talk about residential, I'm here for it. I'm really excited. So yeah, that's all kind of bookings open for that. If anyone is listening, drop me an email, drop me a text. Like, I'm so ready to talk to anyone. We've still got some spaces left, and it's for all abilities. We have, yeah, like I say, like players coming from JPL Warriors leagues and county, and we have girls coming that, you know, under 10s, under 11s that are coming. Have only played for a couple of years, and we'll have enough staff and enough coaches and whatever to cater for everyone, so that everyone gets exactly what they want to get out of it coaching wise. But yeah, this will be a trip that when your kid is 30, 40, 50, they'll look back and be like, oh, remember that Aim High residential we went on when I was 12? Like, how amazing was that? And they'll talk about it and think about it forever. So yeah, I just want so many people to come.
That sounds insane. I want to come as a player.
I would have loved, like, this trip. When I'm planning it, I'm just like, why didn't this exist when I was this age? Like, it would have been so much fun.
Waking up with all your football mates, just knowing you're playing football for the whole rest of the day. Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, what's better than that in life?
Can ask for any more, could you?
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
And lastly, Emily, where can we find you on social media? Where can we see what you're about?
So my Instagram is aim_high_FC, and our website is www.aimhighfc.com. Everything you need to know is on there. And yeah, I'm free for conversations. Even if it's something that you're, you know, there's no commitment involved, have a conversation with me, see what you think. And yeah, hopefully, if you're at this point in the pod, I hope that we've kind of sold the whole idea of Aim High to you, and what we're about and what we want to achieve. So yeah,
I'll make sure I get tagging you as well. I'll tag Emily's socials in previews and things of the podcast as well, so it'll be a bit easier for people to find.
Yeah, wicked. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciated a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll have you again at some point. Maybe post residential to see how it went.
I'll be looking a bit more tired post residential. I've been 4 nights of no sleep.
The weather will be a bit nicer though. It won't be as cold as it is now.
Yeah, exactly. True. Maybe I'll be tanned but tired.
Yeah, tanned but tired. Yeah, we'll take that. All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to welcoming you to the next episode of Beyond the Pitch. See you later, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.